Aidan, hi.
Hi, good morning, Nick.
We've got you loud and clear now, which is fantastic. Congratulations on a record-breaking 8th Derby win. Congratulations on the Oaks win with Love as well. What I found most striking yesterday was Emmett McNamara saying how much confidence you'd given him, that this was a horse who could win the Derby. Do you always say that to your riders? Do you try and fill them with confidence, even if in your heart of hearts you think, well, this is a bit of a long shot?
I know. I suppose, Nick, we wouldn't be running them really unless we really thought that they could win. Obviously, when you'd have 4 or 5 runners, they'd all go into the race, maybe some of them with different profiles, but we would know that the background to their profiles, and obviously they'd be always very well bred horses, obviously most of them by Galileo, and then out of those like unbelievable mares. So, but like we obviously would believe that they all could win, and at the start of every just before every race, we talk to everybody, and everybody gets instructions that would suit their horse to win the race. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out, most times it doesn't, as you know. But that's the way we approach every race, really, Nick.
I know you're a huge student, and always have been, of time and the way that horses expend energy through gallops and through races. I've seen you work at Ballydoyle. At what point in the race, Aidan, did you think they're not going to get him?
Well, I suppose, listen, you're never sure. He was very comfortable where he was, and he's a horse that stayed very well, and he was very happy to make the running, and he got to the front nicely. I suppose we watched the race all together, and Donncha said to us at halfway that he thought like everything was going very well for Emmett, you know. So like we knew he wasn't going to stop. He ran twice at the Curragh this year, and both times he galloped straight through the line, and Seamus the first day and Wayne the second day said he couldn't pull him up, like he went down to the boards, you know. So, and obviously he's from a great pedigree, and obviously by Galileo, so we felt that he wasn't going to stop anyway, but unless someone was going to come and get him if it was possible. But his work had been very good all the time this year in the spring, and it was lovely last year as well, but he was just a horse needed a little bit of time.
You've got this tremendous group of support riders that you can use when you're running 4 or 5 in a race. You've got Ryan, obviously, and Seamie Heffernan, but then you've got this group of support riders who are such a big part of the team at Ballydoyle. How do you go about deciding, say, Emmett rides this horse? Do you try and suit the jockey to the rider? How does it work out?
Yeah, sure. I suppose obviously, and the lads all know the horse as well, and like they'd be riding him work the whole time, so the lads all work in groups with all the horses every day. And listen, like you said, we have like an unbelievable team of riders, and listen, like we would think that they're world class riders, you know. So, and obviously because the way racing is, we can only give so many riders rides on a daily basis. But even though the lads mightn't be riding on the track on a daily basis, they're riding all the work, and it's often an advantage because when you're riding in lesser races, the tempo is different. So they're used to riding those horses work at that very high tempo. So when they go to a big race, it's normal for them, you know. So sometimes in the lesser races, the tempo is too slow for a lot of those horses, and they never get into it. So they find it very easy. They adapt very quick. But listen, they have unbelievable experience, and like we're very lucky to have them. So
do you prefer it in a sense that the Porrig Beggies and Emmett and those home jockeys, if you like, you'd rather they were at home at Ballydoyle doing all that fast work? They're more used to you like that than they are herring off around the country riding 65, 70 rated horses.
Yeah, no, we're delighted for them to do that anytime they ever want to or can. But like what I'm saying, it's definitely not a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Not to be riding like when they're used to those horses working at the tempo that they're working. When they go to a big race, like they find it easy, and it's no change to them, you know. But like really, what I'm saying, it's not a disadvantage if they're not riding every day here and there, really.
Because they're sufficiently talented and they've got that experience. You had other horses run very well in the race. Oran Naveen stepped up massively and ran a huge race in third. Again, he was well positioned through the race. What did you make of some of those in behind, Mogul and Russian Emperor?
Yeah, no, we were very happy around Naveen. Is right. That's only his second run this year, and from a maiden, and that was the maiden at Leopardstown where all the good horses came out of. So, like, that was an incredible maiden. We were very happy with Mogul. We were worried that we wanted 2 runs. We knew he'd made a lot of progress from Ascot, and he did, but we felt that he was going to make it again. So it's the next time we're going to be looking forward to him.
Aidan, he's an absolutely gorgeous-looking horse, Mogul. I thought he was the pick of the paddock by an absolute mile. But I wondered to myself as he was walking around the paddock, is he a horse that naturally carries a little bit more condition, or was he absolutely bang on?
Yeah, no, he has that constitution, Nick. He carries, but that because he carries, and he's like one of those horses with those big heart and lungs. They often take an awful lot more work to get him there, and like we threw as much work at him as we could, without breaking his heart and without taking away the pace, you know. So racing was the only thing that was going to bring him. So we felt that he had came a lot, but was going to come more. So you're absolutely. But he's a beautiful, big, powerful horse, and he's made like a miler. So no, he's going to be something to look forward to, we think.
So I don't want to detract from Serpentine. I feel a bit mean saying that, but do you still think that he could end up, the Mogul could end up being the best of the lot?
Listen, we always thought he was very nice, and we still think he'll progress the next day. But I wouldn't take away anything from Serpentine. Like he'll go out there, and like you can follow him if you want, and if you don't follow him, you know what I mean. He won't be coming back. So he's obviously like a seriously talented horse with an unbelievable engine. Like to go that pace even and keep going, and he wasn't wilting, you know. So listen, it's the Derby, and like the Irish Derby, the Epsom Derby. We all know what kind of route the horses are going to go, so like it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out of it. But our guess is that a lot of good horses are going to come from those races.
Well, you're now fully loaded in the 3-year-old middle distance division, because you've got the Irish Derby winner Santiago, who I loved last week. You've got this horse who was super yesterday. You've got all the horses in behind, and you've got Love, who was absolutely spellbinding. Is Love the best of the lot, do you think?
She's obviously an exceptional filly. Like Ryan was like exceptionally impressed with her after, and everyone has been here. Wayne rides her in her work, and Stephen rides in her canties, and Chloe when he's not there. But everyone that has always rode her has been exceptionally impressed with her. And we were a little bit worried going to the Guineas, was it a bit tight for her? And then when we saw what she did in the Guineas, we were very happy, because we felt stepping up from a mile she was only going to get better to 1.25 miles, and then you're never sure whether to get 1.5 miles. But like Ryan said, there was absolutely no stop at all. Like she ran right to the line, right to the boards again. So like she's incredibly exciting, Nick, really.
Yeah, I've got to say she took everyone's breath away yesterday. 4.5 lengths in a Guineas, and then 9 lengths in an Oaks. What race would you love to win now most with her?
I suppose that we kind of take one race at a time. What happens is always they come home, we see how they are. The lads ride them out for a few days, and then like Jamie will see how she is in the yard and how he's feeling, and then we'll have a good discussion with the lads, and then we'll see. Chris will find out what races are available for her and what our options are. Jennifer will watch see if all the things are back, her weights and everything, and then we'll have the discussion and see. We'll see what race the lads want to go to, really. Like it's really race to race, and we try not to pick a race and go to that. We try get a horse and then pick the right race for the horse, rather than the race that we would like to win, if you understand what I mean. So and the lads decide that all the time themselves, Nick.
And there was talk yesterday of her maybe trying to emulate Oh So Sharp and winning the Fillies Triple Crown. Is that something that you're excited by, potentially? I understand what you were saying about not getting ahead of yourself, but is that concept something that would excite you?
Yeah, no, sure. Obviously, Ledger's a great race, and we always try run good horses in it to win it every year, but it's a difficult race to win. I suppose you have to see like what way we want to go with her. Like if the lads want to go to an arc, it might be a bit tough for a 3-year-old filly to take in the Ledger on the way to an arc. Or then there's the Breeders' Cup races there this year, and like they're worth an awful lot of money this year, you know. So all those things have to be in account, and I suppose the lads mightn't want to drain her out at that time of the season, but like they will make the decision and see what they want to do. But I suppose like she's won a Guineas and an Oaks now, Nick, you know, so I don't think she has too much to prove to anybody, really.
No, well, we know that. And are all the horses okay this morning?
All good, all walked out, and all seem to be in very good form.
And just going back to Serpentine, obviously the normal route for him would have gone Epsom, the Curragh. Now with a topsy-turvy season, you've got these two good, strong, staying Derby horses. What sort of target is the likeliest for them next?
for Serpentine. Is it Nick?
Yeah, Serpentine and or Santiago, I suppose.
Yeah. So I suppose we'll see how Serpentine is. John will check him out the next few days and see whether he's ready to go again or not. But I suppose, listen, the King George is coming up, but we might have some older horses for that. And then I suppose you could look at the ledger with some of them, and then some of them might need a little rest for a while. And then I suppose we have Goodwood that horses can go to as well, So I think it's all very open. But like I said, the autumn is full of big high class middle distance horse race now. So we just have to be a little bit conscious that when we have the horses there to kind of give them a chance to freshen up and be ready for the autumn. So listen, I suppose Santiago was always possible that he could go to Goodwood for the Goodwood Cup, but we'll see how he is, and on the way to the Ledger. But maybe that'll be too much now after running back a week after Ascot. So we'll see how he is. But I think all those races are open to them all, and the lads will see what they want to do, whether they want to go to King George or whether to let some of the older horses go to King George instead.
I can't let you go, Aidan, without asking about Japan this afternoon, because it could complete a memorable weekend for you. And now, if Mogul is a horse who needs a race or two to put him sharp, does the same apply to his year-older full brother?
Yeah, we thought that there was a chance that he could get a little bit tired in Ascot, and he did. He was a little bit slow away, and Ryan just had to get a position on him, and it probably cost him a little bit at the end because he was needing to run a little bit. But Ryan was delighted with him now in Ascot, and we've been delighted with him since. So we think he has come forward since Ascot, so we're looking forward to seeing him run. Obviously he will stay further than 1.25 miles, but we're looking forward to seeing him run now today, and he seems to be in good form, Nick.
Aidan, thank you very much for your time. Many congratulations. Just before you go, has the magnitude of 8 derbies and breaking the record and having the record outright sunk in? And indeed, is the record important to you?
And I think it's great for everybody. Everybody puts in a lot of hard work for those days to happen, and for those horses and the pedigrees and everything. I think everyone gets an awful lot of pleasure out of it, and we really love that when everyone feels a sense of satisfaction, I suppose, and that's what we love when everyone else has that feeling, and then it keeps everyone going on to the next day, So listen, it's great for everybody, Nick, really.
Aidan, thank you very much. Well done.
Pleasure. Thanks very much.
Subscribe to Racing TV to be notified when more Luck on Sunday videos are appearing online. And don't forget to join me for the show every Sunday morning from 9 o'clock with the best guests.